guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna cover the topic about CMA. I'm gonna be talking about how I do my CMA and why should real estate agent do a CMA. For this video, I'm gonna first explain what a CMA means. In the business, you probably already know a CMA stands for a comparative market analysis. So agents who are doing a CMA report usually for two circumstances. One, as if you're a buyer agent, you're doing a CMA before your buyer is putting an offer in. Or if you are a listing agent, you're doing a CMA probably because you're doing it before you going on a listing appointment. You want to know how much the listing price should be before you put it on the market. So I'm going to give you guys the reason why you should do a CMA report for buyer agent and listing agent. If you are a buyer agent, you're doing a CMA report, one, it's gonna make you stand out and be more professional. And number two, if you do a CMA report before you put in an offer in, you are educating your buyer on what's the best price for them to submit an offer, which essentially gonna help them save money or educate them on the current market. As a listing agent, you want to do a CMA report for three reasons. And number one is to help you prepare for your listing presentation, right? When you do a listing presentation, before you go on, you do a CMA report, you know how many houses are currently on the market that are selling, you know how much is the fair market value, and also you will know what the market looks like the past 6 months according to all the sold comps. And the second reason that you should do a CMA is it's gonna kind of educate your seller on the current real estate market, and it shows you are the local expert. Third reason that you should do a CMA is, you know who else also do a CMA is the appraiser. So let's say if you list this house and 2 months down the road, you guys are coming across with appraisal, and if you haven't done a CMA, let's say the market is so hot right now and you listed for $20,000 or $15,000 over the fair market value, and if you have already done the CMA, you will know and let the seller give them a heads up when the appraisal goes and the appraisal report comes back. It's very possible that the appraisals come in short. And once the appraisal comes in short, let's say it comes in $15,000 short, then your seller is either gonna drop down the price or the buyer's gonna come up the price. So you will give them a heads up, therefore it's gonna save you a lot of headache. So what you're seeing right now is the Bright MLS is currently what I'm using from my area. And let's just say that we're looking for this particular property. It's one of my listings that I'm listing right now. It's in pending. But I like to set the radius between 0.1 miles because it's the smallest that I can find. And I'm going to type in my property address. Street. Okay, right there. And I'm going to select 0.1 miles. Okay, that is no match. Then we're gonna go a little bigger. So there are 4 matches, but keep you in mind this result is the active. So if you wanted to see the comp, right, you gotta choose the closed. Sometimes pending helps too, but since it's pending, you don't know how much it's settled for. So let's just stay with closed in the past 180 days. So there are 40 matches. Let's see if we can make it smaller because I want it to stay as close to the property as possible. Okay, perfect. There are 6 matches. Now, all these property, if we look at the map, right, these are all super within a block to the property that I'm listing. Perfect, because I want it to be having the same location. And now let's go back and take a look at each one of them. So we're gonna look at this one. It's sold for $250. I want to compare this condition with the house that I'm listing. So if you look at the condition, it's hardwood, big living room, and then the kitchen is not renovated, but it's also not that old. And it's a big size of kitchen. Now, you want to also take a look at the bathroom. Great. This is renovated bathroom. Upstairs. it's a very good condition, okay? So we're gonna take a look at the size. It's 1,400 square feet, 1,464. That's actually, I'll say close to 1,500. And then we look at the style, it's straight through. Straight through just means that the kitchen is bigger. There's a smaller row home in Philly. It's called Airlight. It's a smaller size of kitchen. They don't have central air, it's wall unit. Great. Now, we're gonna go back, because this house is sold for $250, okay? So we're gonna go back and we're gonna look at the listing that I currently have. Let's see if I can find it on. I'm just gonna show you guys what it looks like from the outside. Okay, so this one, first thing that you can see is it's 1,300 square feet, so it's a little smaller, okay? And they also have the similar exterior. It's also stone exterior. It's got the bow window. Now, if you look at the kitchen, it's slightly smaller and more like a closed up space. So that could work as a downfall for my listing. And the bathroom is new, but it's not as new as the one that we just saw. So upstairs, you look at the condition, and downstairs, they are all carpet, which is not good because people like hardwood floor, okay? So it's a little dated and it's smaller size. So we listed for $239. It's $10,000 less than the house that we just saw through this one. Bigger square footage, nicer bathroom, bigger kitchen. So like I said, it could be a $15,000 to $10,000 difference. So that is kind of how I do my CMA. I pick a comp close to the location to my house I'm listing. And as you can see, we are listed for $239.9. Okay, so this is kind of how I go through, you know, the comps and how I pick up a listing price. And in the next clip, I'm going to show you guys how, like, the summary and a few tips that I have for you guys. How do I do my CMA report? A few tips that helps me do my CMA when I first started. Number one is I look at the sold comps the past 3 to 6 months that houses have already sold in the same area. I compare their features with the house I'm about to list or the house I'm about to put in an offer. Number two, I look at the radius as close by as possible to the house I'm selling because I want to make sure they are in the same location. If the house that were sold were right next to a school or right next to a supermarket, I want to make sure the house I'm listing is just as close as the comp that I'm using. Number three, I compare location, size, features, that's including all different upgrades. So the way how I compare with all these is if a house is bigger, square footage wise, right? If it's bigger, then obviously it's more expensive. And I also compare with the location. That particular comp is closer to a school or is closer to a highway, then that comp will be more expensive, and versus the house I'm listing is going to be less expensive. And now I also look at the types of the homes that I'm comparing with. If the comp is a row home, but my house that I'm listing is a twin house, then obviously my twin house is more expensive than the row home, besides all the other features are the same or square footage is the same, right? And last but not least is the upgrades. Look at different homes with different upgrades that a house is having. There are many different features, but I'm just gonna simply list of the 5 that are the most obvious. So number one, I look at the bathroom. Does my house have a renovated bathroom compared to the comps? If it does, then I add $5,000. And then I also look at deck. Does the comp has a deck, or does the house I'm listing has a deck? If it does, I add $8,000 to $10,000. And does the house I'm listing has a renovated kitchen? If it does, then I add another $10,000. Does it have a finished basement? If it does, I add another $10,000. Does it have a central air? If it does, another $10,000. And how do I come up with all these numbers? It's all experience. So these are the features that I kind of just put that in my head, and it's automatically when I talk to a seller, when I have them on the phone, they tell me all this information, I plugged it in. So compared to all the houses that were sold, if they don't have any of these features, I just add all these numbers to the house I'm listing and kind of tell them how much I think the fair market value will be. So this is how I do my CMA. If you guys have any other different ways that you're doing CMA, make sure you leave a comment down below. If you guys like my video, be sure to subscribe and like this video. Also join my private Facebook group, comment fortune cookie down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.